In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to do your interpersonal psychology class. So the first thing to do, click on the class. The things that you need to be able to do are the assignments and the quizzes. If I have any announcements, they're going to be here on the main page, so make sure you've taken a look at those. Hopefully at this point you have also read the syllabus here, all the information, if you turn something in late, what's required, what everything is worth, all of that fun stuff, so make sure you take a look at the syllabus. The big place you need to look is learning modules. To get to the learning module that you need to currently be working on, you can also look at current week. If you miss a deadline and you need to make up work, go to previous weeks. So current week is what you need to do right now. Previous weeks is the stuff you should have already done, but you can go there to find it if you missed out. So if you go to learning modules, this is the schedule of assignments. It is the deadlines for everyone. I highly recommend you try to complete the assignment and the quiz before the deadline, because if something happens with your computer or something goes wrong, you don't want to get points deducted because you turned it in late. And if you wait till the last day to do it, I'm not going to give you an extension. You have to turn it in on time. So right now we're in Module 1. So if you click on Module 1, it's going to say what chapter it is. Because you have 17 chapters but only 10 weeks, you're going to not always have the module and the chapter line up like this. So make sure you take a look so you know what chapters you're supposed to be working on. If you click on it, it has everything I need you to do or I think might be useful to you here in the table of contents. You do not have to complete everything in Module 1, Chapter 1. I'll show you what that is. The things that you have to complete for a grade are the assignment and the quiz. Guiding questions are just there to help you as you read the chapter. Because this is the first week, you also had that introductory post and the survey to complete. But usually it's just going to be an assignment and a quiz, guiding questions, and then this module chapter thing. So if you go to this part, there have been some questions about this. You can either click to launch there or click to launch here. And if you click on it, you have these things. Now chances are you've clicked on it like web exercises and links, and it's been this. If potentially you had the access code, this is what it'll look like instead. This is what it looks like if you have the access code. It gives you different fun things you can do, potential online resources. Occasionally I'll have you do something from here for an assignment, but I will give you the link separately. You don't actually have to be able to log into here. So that's what the extra resources would look like. If you wanted to do flashcards, it would look like this. What chapters you want, like framework. And then here it has the word, and then you have to think of the definition. So that's what the flashcards would look like. The objectives, these are the book's objectives, what the book thinks you should learn. And the glossary, these are going to be all the terms for the book, not just this chapter, but the entire book. So again, this is not mandatory. It is fine if you do not have it, but that's what it would look like if you are able to get those links. But I'm assuming a lot of you do not have that access code. And so again, I went to current week there, and this is the week you're supposed to be working on. So that's what it's going to be. You don't have to go to that. Even if you flip through them this way, you just ignore that part. These guiding questions, these are what I think you should know for the chapter, things to think about as you read it. You do not need to answer these for me. It's for your own benefit. Again, 2 things for a grade every module. One is going to be the assignment. Most of the time the assignment is going to be a journal entry, so you could also find it there. But again, you could click to launch there, or you can click right here. And this is what I want you to do. And then here's the 3 questions I want you to answer. Make sure you fully answer these. When I ask you to do a self-assessment, you do not need to turn in the self-assessment, but what I ask you about will somehow relate to that. So for example, for this first one, how do these compare to your own developmental needs? This self-assessment helps you figure out what your developmental needs are. So as you answer this question too, it should be obvious to me that you completed the self-assessment based on what you say in that answer. That's how I know that you completed the self-assessment. So make sure you fully answer these and grade it. Make sure you take a look at these, make a note of these before you create the journal entry, because this part will disappear once you click on this. So you'll create a journal entry, you type away, label it if you want, say assignment 1, and then make sure you put post entry. Don't save it as a draft. This is if you're still working on it, this is if you're done with it. And then I can grade it once you put post entry. I am the only one that can see these. Your fellow classmates cannot actually see your assignments. So that's the assignment part. And then you also always have a quiz. Now, the quiz has to be completed in one sitting. You have 25 minutes to do it. If you choose to go over the 25 minutes, you will lose a point for every minute you go over. So it is not a good idea to spend a significantly longer time doing it, because you'll end up losing so many points. And everyone has a different quiz. It's a random mix of questions. You have to answer a question before you can move on to the next one. And you cannot open another screen when you're completing the quiz. You have to finish this quiz. You can't go to Wikipedia to look up an answer. It's open book, it's not open Wikipedia. So make sure you have your 25 minutes, you have a good, fast internet connection before you start this quiz. Remember, it shuts down at 11:59, so if you start it at, say, 11:40, you could potentially get a point off if you don't complete it by this time. So it's not starting it before the deadline, it's finishing it by the deadline. So every single chapter you have an assignment and a quiz. Every chapter I'm going to give you some questions to ponder. If you have the access code, then you have access to those extra resources. Those extra resources will also be found in course documents. There's module 1, so that's where that's going to be, and more will pop up as you do it. The schedule of assignments, what you need to complete this semester, can be found here. It can also be found if you go to the, learning modules, actually. The schedule of assignment there. But it's always going to be your assignment and your quiz are due Friday night at 11:59 for the very last week, when it's due Thursday at noon. Beyond that, it is always going to be Friday at 9. And those are the dates. Again, that last one is going to be noon. So that is it. That is everything you need to know. You can always contact me via email if you have any questions about this, or you can always leave a message on my office phone, and that information can be found in the syllabus right here at the top. So that is how you complete everything you need for your interpersonal psychology class.